Melania Trump has gone missing. Donald Trump seems to have ditched her. Natalie Harp, 38 years old, who calls herself Donald Trump's personal printer, is now attached to Donald Trump's hip wherever he goes. Natalie Harp's brother just gave an interview with the Daily Mail. Her brother says that Natalie Harp's relationship with Donald Trump as his, quote, personal printer is deeply unhealthy. There have been some books written before about their relationship which raise some eyebrows, we'll just put it. But yesterday, as Donald Trump was further attacking Iran while Melania was nowhere to be seen, guess who was right by Donald Trump's side while he ordered a further attack on Iran in violation of the ceasefire? Natalie Harp. That's right. We've got photos of her right by Donald Trump, and Trump looking awful as well. I'll show you Donald Trump returning to the White House yesterday after he had lunch at his Virginia golf course where he was with Natalie Harp. We have lots of photographs of him and Natalie Harp, and this is where he ordered these strikes on Iran, again continuing to cause mass chaos in the world right there. We'll show you some B-roll of Natalie Harp going into the White House with him. They seem to be going upstairs together over here as well. In the book Regime Change also, which is written by these New York Times authors, Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan, they talk about how Natalie Harp, while Melania is gone, leaves these love letters for him, or these little letters, "You're my everything, I love you so much, I miss you, I can't," words like that, to that effect. I really need you, where, you're always a ray of sunshine in my life, just generally stuff like that. Secret Service very deeply concerned about all of this, and they find these letters apparently everywhere. Susie Wiles was apparently deeply concerned about it. Here was the headline: Trump's human printer accused of very unhealthy affection for Donald Trump. Now, here's Molly Plufkin says, Natalie Harp is a national security risk. Now, Katie Miller, Stephen Miller's wife, posts the following: Natalie doesn't do interviews or talk to the media. This is too far and unwarranted. She was literally a media host. She was a TV host on OAN. That's how she met Donald Trump in 2019, before constantly being by his side. This also comes at the same time that we've learned more about Donald Trump and Melania's relationship from that book, Regime Change. We kind of knew some of this before, but it adds some additional flavor. Melania, when she's at the White House, she's in the main bedroom, and Donald Trump is not allowed to sleep in the main bedroom. Of course, they don't sleep together at all. Donald Trump is kind of in a room adjacent to like the second floor living room area. And apparently, this is what's been reported in the book, and it seems like Melania may be the source of this. Donald Trump loves to fall asleep in his filth, and he falls asleep on garbage, and he has all these food and wrappers and ketchup and all of these things that are all over him. It's very, very gross. Also, he makes the Secret Service and the White House staff put carpet all over his bedroom. He loves the feeling of carpet on his feet in the bathroom, which apparently grows a very gross mold. More reporting on that as well. So while I think we've been showing you some footage of what's going on at this Great American Fair, which is not great at all. It makes Fire Festival look great, and I'm the main lawyer who sued Fire Festival in the class action and exposed everything that was going on there. But you have this Great American Fair, while Melania seems not to be in DC or anywhere. No one knows where she is. I mean, and remember from the lawsuit that was filed against her, where she was claiming that she lives in Florida. Who knows if she's actually at Mar-a-Lago? No one's really seen her there. People speculate that she really lives in Manhattan, in her own area in the Trump Tower. Again, completely different floor than Donald Trump does, just like in the White House. But I digress. The point I'm trying to make is that it's a ghost town at Trump's great state fair, but Melania did get an honor. They named a cow after Melania, so no one's there, but there is Melania the cow. Cow named Melania appears at Great State American Fair. As one account says, here's America State Fair summed up in 4 videos. Empty everywhere, Confederate flags, crusty white MAGA women, and a cow named Melania. Here is the cow named Melania I want to get into a serious topic, though, about Melania's dark past as well. I want to talk about Paolo Zampoli as she goes missing. We'll talk more about Natalie Hart, but play this clip of the Melania cow, please.
We were trying to come up with patriotic names for the 250th year of America, and we thought Melania would be a good idea because it's the First Lady's name and the hair colors kind of match. So maybe we thought, and it just fit.
That's right. So remember, Donald Trump's been at the G7 in France where he signed the surrender document in Versailles. Melania, of course, not there. I believe Natalie Hart was there. Donald Trump was recently in Pennsylvania, speaking in front of people who he claimed work in a trucking factory, but we know Donald Trump loves to use human beings as props. Melania was not there either. I'll show you what Donald Trump said there as well. He was very happy that he was with a bunch of men who don't work with women. And then he was saying that in the UFC, these men are so strong, he loves their muscles, and there's no women, which is nice. No women, which is nice. And he keeps on also, like, in addition to the kind of Natalie Hart raising your eyebrow, one of the things that Donald Trump continues to do is talk about how physically attracted he is to different men and strong men. He says, I love their legs. I love your muscles. Can I touch you? Look how handsome you are. Remember when he was at the G7, he was talking to the Egyptian president, El-Sisi, you're so handsome. You're so good looking. I love to stay in the hotel room with you late at night. Remember when he was with the UAE president, he said to one of the reporters, how handsome, you're so handsome. I really like the way you look. Remember, he said that about Modi, Prime Minister of India, like, you look so beautiful. You look such a good looking guy. Anyway, here's what Donald Trump said in Pennsylvania about the UFC having no women. Play this clip.
And you're fighting the toughest people on earth. I mean, these are the strongest, toughest men on earth. No women in the crowd, which is nice. But these are the toughest men on earth, and it's tremendous pressure. And, you know, the muscles, you got the muscles, you guys, you got the big, strong muscles, but you got this muscle, too, because it takes much more than just the normal muscle to win those matches. I mean, the strategy and the genius that goes in it is a genius. A lot of people wouldn't understand that, but there's a genius. There's a genius in sports, but there's a great amount of courage and power that you have that a lot of other people don't have. So congratulations. Really great job.
By the way, you all have seen Jack Cucciarella's show on the MeidasTouch network on Sunday, the big Sunday show. It's getting like 1.2 million views every weekend. It's crushing it. He brought on Jennifer Welch of the I've Had It. Been good friends with Jennifer for a while. I'm a big fan of the I've Had It podcast. She brought up Melania missing and Melania's behavior. Here's what she had to tell Jack. Let's play it.
You have to realize this. This is something that's super important. Melania got paid $40 million to do a piece of shit documentary. Unwatchable, right? And in that documentary, nothing is done by accident. It's all intentional. It's all purposeful. This is what I want to project to the public that is my image. She went out of her way to let the American public know that she does not have sex with her husband. They said goodnight. He went one way to one bedroom. She went one way to another bedroom. America 10 years ago, if Michelle got $40 million while she was in office, that would be a scandal. But of course, nobody does anything with that. And then if she said goodnight, Barack, and she turned and she won it intentionally, that's by design, that's purposeful. That was left in, that wasn't edited out. It was staged accordingly. She wanted the public to know, I do not have sex with this man. And I think that if you look back to Trump's past, if you look to his mentor, Rory Cohn, who was homosexual, closeted for a very long time, very influential on Trump's life. I think the reason that MAGA men are so obsessed with the LGBTQ plus community is some of them are bisexual, some of them are closeted, because I can't even begin to tell you how many gay friends I have that do not talk about gay stuff like the Republicans do. I've never seen a man constantly, as Donald Trump, every time he's around somebody attractive, that he seems to have a type. You know, think about Zoran, think about that UFC fighter, think about the Saudi print, all of them. He seems to have and he can't stop himself, because if you think back to like the times you visited an elderly person in the nursing home, they get really honest. They get in their deathbed confession era, and it would be like, oh, your grandmother, Vic, oh, Jack, I always loved you a lot more than I did your brother. You were my favorite.
Don't tell Joey that.
and this is what Trump is doing. He can't help himself, because he's less inhibited. He knows his own mortality is coming into focus. And I don't think he and Melania have slept together for years, but she took in $40 million, and it wasn't to curate a traditional marriage. It wasn't to curate a traditional family. It did the exact opposite. And this is the kind of stuff and the type of fodder that the MAGA conservatives, like, little Moses Mike, would have a heyday about. Ted Cruz would go bananas if Barack and Michelle did something like this. They don't even sleep. What kind of man doesn't sleep with his wife? And I don't know if maybe we should just start talking about that all the time. Seriously, I really think we should.
I've really been trying to keep healthier, high-quality ingredients around the house, and one thing I've gotten tired of is buying seafood that looks great at the store, but then just doesn't live up to expectations. That's why I love Wild Alaskan Company. They offer the best way to get wild-caught, high-quality seafood delivered right to your door on your schedule. Each box comes with individually portioned, vacuum-sealed fillets that are easy to prep, whether I'm throwing together a quick dinner or making something a little more special. Everything is quick frozen right from the Alaskan waters, which helps lock in the texture, flavor, and key nutrients like omega-3s, and it is seafood you can trust with no GMOs, antibiotics, or other additives. Plus, every order supports sustainable harvesting practices and Alaskan fishermen whose history is tied to the region and the practice. One of my favorites has been the coho salmon. It's incredibly versatile, cooks up beautifully, and has a great texture that makes it an easy go-to for dinner. Wild Alaskan Company is so confident that their fish is the best that they offer a 100% satisfaction and money-back guarantee, so you can try your first box risk-free. Go to wildalaskan.com/Meidas for $35 off your first order of premium wild-caught seafood. That's wildalaskan.com/Meidas, MEIDAS, for $35 off your first order. Thanks to Wild Alaskan Company for sponsoring this episode. All right, now going to the thing I wanted to share with you about Paolo Zampolli and Amanda Ungaro. Remember Amanda Ungaro, Zampoli's ex-girlfriend. She says that Zampolli basically expedited deportation proceedings against Ungaro based on a child custody dispute, and she claims Zampolli used his connections with Trump and ICE to get her out of the country. You remember Zampoli's the guy, I talk about it all the time, right? Zampoli's the guy who ran a modeling agency in the 90s, and he knew Donald Trump from his modeling agency, and who would bring the Eastern European young girls and women from the modeling agency, help them get visas. He'd throw parties in Manhattan at the Kit Kat Club. That's where these parties where the models met the rich men, and they met each other at the parties, right? That's what was going on. The modeling agencies, then they would get the visas, all makes perfect sense, eh? But that's the late 1990s party where Melania met Donald Trump. Zampolli then did some real estate ventures, and he's an ambassador right now in the United States. He does a lot of kind of foreign events. In any event, Amanda Ungaro says, look, we know Melania's true story. We know what her real dark past is. We know what she was really doing here in the United States when she was brought here. We know how she got here. Is what Ungaro says. And, Ungaro raises lots of red flags, hasn't really divulged too much yet. But she did post this. What does she know, with this AI image of her? Trump insider turned ICE into a custody weapon to deport Amanda Ungaro. A Trump special envoy used a single phone call to ICE to deport Amanda Ungaro, the mother of his child. What does she know? And also, she's been posting declarations of herself and Zampolli to show, what their relationship was. And of course, she wanted to stay in the U.S. and she believed she was going to have a visa here, but Zampolli screwed her over, she says. She also posts lots of emails between Zampolli and Ghislaine Maxwell. He's been posting that a lot lately. And then, as far as I can tell, the last Melania social media post, though no one's seen her publicly, she keeps talking about helping foster kids get these Trump accounts so they can invest in the stock market. And look, I'm all for Like I want to make sure that foster children are getting as much resources as possible. I think in the hierarchy of needs and the hierarchy of help that we could provide to foster children, stock trading and Trump stock accounts, I probably wouldn't put at the number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, 7, 8. I'd want to make sure that we can have a safe and secure environment, that we can make sure that it's free of any abuse, that we can make sure that we find homes for children, that there's not a lot of kind of bouncing back and forth, and that we handle the foster system with the utmost care and compassion, and make sure that every child who's part of the system is truly given an opportunity to thrive and to love and to be loved. And then maybe, but she keeps pushing this. I'm at the New York Stock Exchange to give this, the stocks and this and stock trading. And, I'm just not sure the day trading aspect of it is kind of number 1 on my list. I'll share what Jimmy Kimmel had to say about the Trump-Iran deal and how it relates to Melania missing. This is what Jimmy Kimmel says. So we killed the Ayatollah, replaced him with a younger, more radical Ayatollah. We did nothing for the protesters in Iran. We removed the sanctions that were on Iran before the war started. We got a ceasefire that we already had before this. We opened the Strait, which was already open before this. We used up who knows how many billions of dollars on bombs and missiles. Many Americans and civilian lives were lost. We gave Iran full control of the Strait of Hormuz, and we threw in a minimum $300 billion because why not? Right now, Melania is wondering, how do I get a deal like that? And also, we talked a few weeks back about Ghislaine Maxwell sent a mysterious USB drive to the Justice Department days after Melania Trump sought to distance herself from the pairs, from Ghislaine and Epstein's crimes right there. This is the Jezebel Splinter headline. Trump started a bedroom war with Melania and forced staff to dry his soggy bathroom carpet. Nothing says imperial presidency like marital decorating rivalry, graveyard of discarded silver, and a rotating cast of soggy emergency bathroom carpets, because he loves to put his feet on soggy bathroom carpets and make mold. He loves growing mold cultures apparently in the bathroom. I mean, sick, disgusting stuff right there. But there you have it, Natalie Harp being accused of having a very unhealthy relationship with Donald Trump. And there you have it. I said she was 38. She's 34. I meant that she was 34 years old. Her brother, Preston Harp, is 38 years old. And he's the one who said that it's weird. And, she's the human printer, gushing letters for Trump, and she hides them in his personal spaces so he can find it. You're all that matters to me. You're all that matters to me. Chief of Staff Susie Wiles said she would freak out about it and it would be very weird. The fixation was very strange. Michael Wolff's book, All or Nothing, talked about the fixation that she had with Donald Trump, the aggressiveness of Harp's attention concerning members of the Secret Service. And Donald Trump apparently said, all of you will go off and make money, but she'll never leave me. She'll never leave me. Okay. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.